Hey everybody, it's Mr. 845 here, and we're here with another small business local to the Hudson Valley. This is Dana. Dana owns Dutchess 3D Imaging. Dana, tell us who you are and what do you do?
So my name is Daina DiPinto. I am a registered diagnostic medical sonographer. I specialize in OBGYN, and March right now, I actually celebrated my 25th anniversary of doing sonography.
Nice.
So 25
Congratulations.
years. Oh my God, thanks. Um, yeah, so I'm located in Poughkeepsie, New York. Right now, currently, the location that I'm in, this is my second location, but I'm located at 10 IBM Road, right here in Poughkeepsie, right off of Route 9.
All right. So first and foremost, before we get started with all the kinds of questioning, the best thing that I like to do for my small businesses that I put on the show is to make sure that I get their contact info first and foremost. What are some social links or what is the best way to contact you? Let's kind of go with that.
So, my Instagram or Facebook, Dutchess 3D Imaging,
Okay.
anyone can call or text 845-554-3421. And then you can also go right onto the website at duchess3dimaging.com.
Oh, awesome. So kind of going into it, I want to kind of just understand kind of like what you've done with the business and kind of a little bit kind of understand. I've used your services, by the way, like when me and my wife were having our daughter together, if you will, Livy. We actually brought my wife because she was carrying her to your location, and you guys did a really awesome job doing a
Good.
3D scan of her, and she actually had my cheeks. So, it was great to see that on uh, the video and like the little picture that we got. So, kind of give me an understanding as to what exactly you do, so that way, could like people who don't know, they can kind of understand.
So so I started my business in 2014. And originally, the reason why I did was because I was listening to my patients, and they would obviously, the first thing when somebody thinks about when they're pregnant is they want to see their baby. When are we going to get an ultrasound? That's usually the first question that people ask when they go to their doctor. And over the years, it has definitely changed. Healthcare is not the way it used to be. Insurance is not the way it used to be. And I, at that time in 2014, wanted to provide a luxury service, if you will, where families can come and see their baby anytime they want and bring the grandma, the grandpa, the godfather, their other kids to really just kind of welcome this new member of the family together in a nice spa-like atmosphere and really be able to just bond with their baby before birth.
Okay. And now, like you kind of delved into the healthcare part, but I mean, you offer a much more advanced service than what you would necessarily get at a, regular doctor's office, right? I mean, they kind of give you the black and white ultrasound where you just kind of use all that gel and you're just seeing that, right? You guys offer more than that, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes. So your regular classic black and white 2D ultrasound is what you would get from your doctor's office. So here at Dutchess 3D, I provide that service as well, but we also provide 3D and 4D and 5D and HD technology. So
Wow.
behind me is actually a 3D ultrasound of a 8-week pregnancy. So we're able to kind of elevate the technology that the hospital won't do because your insurance won't pay for it.
Okay.
Do they have the capability? Probably, but but here we can actually see your baby as clear as we can get it with the technology that we have.
Yeah. And I mean, it's kind of important because a lot of people, when you see the ultrasound, like the black and white, which way would we want 1D, 2D?
2D.
Okay, so the 2D, you kind of get a good understanding of where the baby is and kind of like that type of stuff. But when you actually see the picture in 3D, it's like that's my baby coming.
Oh, yeah.
You guys get really more excited about it, and I can speak on my experience. It like I saw that she had my cheek, so I was like, oh, here we go.
Mhm.
And she's been my snuggle partner since birth. So she's she's the littlest, she's the baby of the family. So it's great to have that moment with her. And of course my wife had that moment with us. So it's not like I
Absolutely.
leave her out of the picture, you know what
Yeah.
I'm saying?
Yeah.
But yeah, but so let's kind of go back a little bit more. I know that you've celebrated an anniversary, but even before that, when you were younger, is this something that you always wanted to do with your life, or is there other things that you actually saw as a career path, and this kind of like, tell us how you got to this point, right?
So I tell this story pretty frequently because one of the other things that I do is I go to local um, high schools in our
Hmm.
area and I talk to the juniors and seniors about the field of radiology and all the trades that you can do that people really don't know that are available. So no, when I was in high school and when I was younger, I didn't even, first of all, I was horrible in math. I was horrible in science. Um, Quite frankly, I was never there because I was always cutting. So I wasn't your best high school student at all. I didn't know what I wanted to do. I was like, yeah, I'll be a teacher or whatever. And really what brought me to ultrasound is that when I was 18, I found a lump in my breast. I didn't know anything about medicine, or no one in my field is of the medical field at all. No one in my family is of the medical field.
Hmm.
And went to my doctor. My doctor gave us a script. My mother and I went to New York Presbyterian. They I had an ultrasound, and from the moment that I was in the room and met and was speaking with this ultrasound tech, I she made me feel so comfortable. And that was when I was like, I want to do this. I want to do this. So I researched local ultrasound schools. Luckily, I was able to find one close to where I lived at the time. And that was it.
And you were
That was
hooked.
it. That was it, literally.
So I mean, it's kind of these stories that kind of kind of precursor everything, right? So like, it really kind of delves into what brought you to this point, right? So so did you initially open a business right away, or was this like you were working and then you decided that you wanted to branch off?
So opening up a business was never on my radar. So I went to ultrasound school. Um, Fun fact, when I was in ultrasound school, the last thing that I want, so in ultrasound school, you specialize in everything. You
Hmm.
specialize in every different type of ultrasound that you can do. The one category and subject that I was like, I don't want to do that was OBGYN. And now
Okay.
it's my life.
Yeah.
Okay. So that I was like, God, I don't want to do that. I want to work in emergency medicine and see all the crazy stuff in the ER.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I did my clinical, I graduated. Fun fact, on my graduation day at ultrasound school at 11 o'clock, at 2 o'clock, I had my first job interview at what is now Montefiore North, but it was Our Lady of Mercy back then. And
Hmm.
I got my first job the same day that I graduated.
Wow, that's amazing.
I know.
Yeah.
So
Not a lot of kids get that, so.
no, no. But so then that happened. Um, and I worked. I worked literally in every single hospital that you can think of locally. And it wasn't until I want to say 10 to 15 years in that I was like, I want to open up a side hustle because I see what the doctor is giving these new parents, and I know that I can do so much more. And I had so many colleagues and doctors in the business really kind of hating on the idea that I wanted to do
Hmm.
because, it was for entertainment at that point. It wasn't
Yeah.
for diagnostic imaging. And I really felt like even back then, before the mental health kick wasn't even a thing,
Hmm.
I know that I was providing mental health for these patients, even before mental health was literally a thing. Because seeing your baby and hearing the heartbeat and being able to have intimate time with your partner or husband and seeing your baby and hearing the heartbeat and seeing the wiggles, it absolutely changes the whole trajectory of parenthood.
Yeah. It becomes real.
It
It's not,
becomes
it's
real, real.
real, but now it's real. Like, hey,
Yeah.
this is a baby that's coming soon.
Yes, absolutely. And that is when I slowly started the whole process with no help except for my parents financially, but I had nobody in the field locally. I was like banned. I was doing everything against the grain that medicine has taught us, and it was so difficult. It was so hard. Um, But looking back on it now, I'm so glad that I took the risk and I really had to just dig deep and not really care what other people were saying and just know that the plan and the mission that I had was legit. People needed it and I provided a service that people wanted.
I mean, it's also a memory, right? So
A
like,
thousand percent.
there's a point in time when, the baby's growing, and this is a memory that you can never get back because the baby's now a person and
Yeah.
out of the womb and now growing and yelling at you and saying no. So it's a lot different now. So this is a memory that you're giving parents that they wouldn't normally get, right? So now when it comes to these technologies that you're using and kind of like working with the parents and stuff like that, and I know that I have the prior medical experience. Tell me, like, with the machinery that you use or the mechanisms that you use, how exactly does that affect the womb, or if it does, right? Because I'm not too familiar with it, so I kind of wanted to, if anybody had any concerns,
Sure.
this would be a great way to kind of explain that.
So just like with any other ultrasound, in radiology, so ultrasound falls under the radiology field. In your radiology field, there's other modalities that induce radiation.
Hmm.
Out of all of those, ultrasound has no radiation at all, and it has sound waves. So that's why it is the best modality. You could have a million ultrasounds, nothing is ever going to happen to you or your fetus at all.
Yeah.
There has been no long-term effects that have been diagnosed or an article written regarding sound waves or anything like that in any journals that I've ever read for more than 55 years. So it is
So
completely safe.
yeah, so it's important for people to know how safe it is, because
Really safe.
they're saying, hey, it's a procedure that the doctors do. How safe is it? So I wanted to make sure that we had like heard that, so that way people can understand that, the misconceptions of getting multiple ultrasounds, like even if they get it with a doctor and then they get it with you, it's not going to like affect the fetus. It's not going to affect the development. It's just something that you could have as a memory and the growth of your child, as you go from first trimester, second trimester, third trimester, right? Well, maybe that's a question I should ask. When is the most proper time, or when is the best time to see you during a pregnancy?
So anytime is a good time to come see baby. So here at Dutchess 3D Imaging, I'm able to, not only do I do the cute elective, things like this, I also have a radiologist on my team, and we also do diagnostic ultrasound as well. So we have different types of probes, which are little cameras that connect to our machine, and we have the capability of seeing a baby as early as 5 weeks and 5 days transvaginally inside the vagina, and we can do that here. So we have literally every capability that you would go to get an ultrasound anywhere. We're able to do it here. And if you wanted it read by our board certified radiologist, that's also something that we can provide.
Okay. And now with those services, is that excluded in a package, or is this something that they could also look for their insurance, or is it strictly off insurance?
So years ago, when I started this, I was like, yeah, like let me see what the whole insurance thing is.
Hmm.
I have done so much research um, of what it was going to cost me as a business owner to put my application in to see if I will get approved to accept insurance, and then what the reimbursement rate is. And then I was told that if I do accept insurance, I have to have my self-pay prices for people who don't have insurance astronomically high.
Mm-hmm.
So I said, well, a lot of the patients that do come to me, they do have insurance, but a lot of them don't. And I also have a partnership with local doctors' offices who cater to more of our communities who have increased diversity, and they are unable to get insurance, or they are unable to, they just arrived, so you say, and they need some sort of medical attention and they can't go into the emergency room for a number of reasons,
Yeah.
but I'm able to provide them with affordable imaging. And that's the reason why I chose not to accept insurance, because I wanted to be able to make sure that those people of our community are also have the opportunity to come see their baby or get their abdomen ultrasound to see if they have gallstones or a lump in their breast or whatever.
So you keep it reasonable price wise, so that people can actually afford it instead of following what the insurance companies say. So that's, it's great for the community because you're offering a service that for most people would be out of touch, right? And in some cases would need this vital care, because without it, then they could be going weeks, months without knowing something. So this is great information. I want to make sure that people kind of understand a lot of this stuff. The biggest thing that I want to understand, because I know that you mentioned it earlier, so to kind of understand the difference between 2D, 3D, 4D, HD, 5D, all that different stuff. So what's the difference? Like, what do we have differences wise in those type of images?
We're going to go on a tour.
Okay. We're going on a tour.
We're going on a tour. All right. So 2D black and white is basically going to be that here.
Okay.
So that's your basic 2D black and white ultrasound that your doctor is going to give you. Okay. So 3D, hold on. 3D is going to be.
Oh, look at those cheeks.
Stand by. Yep. So this is 3D. This is 3D. This is 3D. So these are a goldish, three-dimensional view of the baby's face.
Okay.
I don't know if you can see it, but this is 5D. You see how it's kind of like a fleshier view? That's 5D.
So you get more texture, right? Like
a little bit more
like
texture,
skin texture,
and a little bit more like real life sort of looking.
like
this
colorization.
Is also 5D.
Okay.
And this is also 5D as well.
Okay.
So that's the difference. So the 4D is the actual movement of a three-dimensional image.
Okay.
And the HD is the actual movement of a 5D image.
Okay. So that gives us a nice good breakdown. So it gives me kind of like a better understanding of kind of like, so now that we talked about the business, right? We kind of understand a lot of the things that you do. The biggest thing that I want to see from your perspective is, as a business owner in the Dutchess County area, what have you seen? Like, for the most part, I've never heard of any other business other than yours that does this service. So, what are the challenges that you've been running into in the sense of throughout the years? I know you've kind of delved into some of it, but what are some other challenges that you've seen, being kind of like almost the only game in town that kind of offers these services?
Well, respectfully, I'm not the only game in town.
Oh, okay.
So there are businesses, two specifically, that are like mine, that do similar, not all the things I do, but similar that I do. Respectfully, I don't have any competition. So
the experience, you're saying the experience is kind of like.
No, I mean, sure, you can go to places that do elective ultrasound, but I don't consider them a competition at all. No, absolutely not. I was the first one in the Hudson Valley to open this sort of business. And because I've been local for a good amount of time, I have created so many wonderful connections, and I have kind of, made a name for myself just because of all the education and experience that I've had, where I really do now get respectfully the respect that I deserve.
Yeah, I mean, now you're a woman-owned business.
Mhm.
You're in a field of the medical field, right? So it is something that's important to see that you have not only had your experience challenged in that sense, right? But you also have the capability of saying that based on that timeline that you've had, you have the experience backing and education backing for a lot of the things that you do. So it's kudos to you, in the fact that you're able to maneuver how you have throughout the years. Now, when it comes to, like, let's say we're talking to somebody that's actually like looking and considering either working for you, opening up their own business, working in the hospital. You have said that you've talked to a lot of students that way. What are some like regulatory challenges or licensing that you would have to do to be in your industry?
So that's a great question, because there are people that can go to ultrasound school and get a certificate. I mean, hell, Tom Cruise bought an ultrasound machine off of eBay.
Mhm.
So you could, buy whatever you want to buy. Um, I'm a board certified registered diagnostic medical sonographer. So besides getting my ultrasound certificate and having 25 years experience, I am also board certified in the United States of America, where a lot of people that have businesses like mine don't have that board certification. They have a certification saying, yeah, I took the course, yeah, I passed the test, and I, did my thing. So that would be one thing I would say, for anyone. If you are looking to get any type of medical, I mean, think about it. We hear things all the time about these fake doctors that are
Yeah,
like producing their own doctorate degrees,
yeah.
and
There's certificates and
yeah, and
degrees.
they're selling your kidneys on the black market. So
Yeah, yeah.
you got to do your research no matter what you do. No matter what you do, you have to do your research. I mean, we have politicians that are like fake, that like lied about their whole thing. So you got to do your research.
There's a lot of those. Anyway, but so yeah, I mean that's kind of important for people to know. That not only do you have the certification, but you also have basically the board certification
Absolutely.
that gives you a lot more clout in the industry. Um, so now, kind of going into some of the technology that you have now. Is it the same type of ultrasound machine that you use for all steps, or is that something that there's different mechanisms? Because I know that you had said something about cameras. Is there other things that you have that you could use, or is there something that you have that is different than what you would find at the hospital?
Yeah. So the machine is the machine. So it's like a big computer,
Okay.
and there's different probes. So the probe is what is allowing us to get specific images on specific body parts depending on how deep in the body we need to go. So for example, most offices that are providing ultrasound in hospitals and in Optum and Nuvance and Vassar, they're not going to have a three-dimensional probe because they don't do that service. They don't provide it. Insurance does not pay for it. So they're not going to even have it. Maybe if you go to a high risk OBGYN, maybe they might have it. But in your typical setting, they're not. So I have here at my location, because I do diagnostic imaging, I have every single probe, which is like a different camera, a different mechanism that we plug into the computer to
Mhm.
be able to image different parts of the body. I have all of them. Most your elective studios don't. They don't have
I,
that.
I mean, how weird are we talking? Like, is it? I know that you said like the transvaginal one, but are they like very intrusive ones too?
Well, the transvaginal one is the most intrusive.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought you were gonna say like for a male one, if they wanted to come and try it there, like
Yeah, so we don't do prostate here. I'm sorry.
yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
All right,
Yeah.
just making sure.
But
Um,
honestly, it's the same probe.
Really? Hmm.
Oh yeah, yeah,
That'd be a weird image on the scan. I'm just saying.
yeah.
So these are some really great things, and I know that not only do you participate in your own business, but you also do things outside of your business. So I really wanted to take some time to kind of really delve into the other things that you do for the community. So I know that you have events that you do, but what before we get into the events part, what are some other things that you as a business owner provide or do for the community outside of the events, if you have anything?
Yeah. So, I also am maybe per diem, we'll use the word, a per diem adjunct ultrasound professor at the ultrasound school in White Plains. I really love going there. I go maybe once a month when they really, really need me. And I love it. I really love it. And I love seeing the new faces of the healthcare world. And, respectfully, I have a great relationship with the director of the program. And
And you did this all without college, right?
so,
Or
yes.
yeah.
So when I,
I just want people to know that you don't have to necessarily take the most common path and
correct.
still achieve the know-how, the clout, the knowledge, the board certifications. You can go other paths and do the things that you've done. Maybe not as close, but they can take some sort of path. But you're teaching the new wave, right? And that's something that's a huge achievement that a degree with paper that's you taking classes can never give you those 25 years of experience that you have. So it's something that I really want people to understand is, especially the younger kids out there that are looking for careers, that college, if it's not for you, there are still other options and other pathways for you. So this is a great story to be able to bring up to the show.
there is definitely in the one specific school, and the reason why I like to teach at this specific school is because it gives everyone the same opportunity. So there are students in my class that are 18 and graduated high school, and also sitting next to them is a doctor that was a doctor in Russia, but she didn't pass the board exam here. So you're sitting in the class with that same person, and that's why I love that school, because everyone is starting at zero.
Yeah.
And it's really about how bad you want it.
Yeah, I mean,
That's
this
how bad
is, I wouldn't call it a hustle. I mean, because
it's a
a job is
grind.
a job, right? But if you're working this job and then you're working another job like you did in the beginning,
Yeah,
it's a hustle because
it's a
it's
hustle.
like I got to grind, I got to really try to make it work, and I got to make time not only for my family but for my day job and then my night job, and so I totally get the drive for that. So not only do you do that, but now I do want to touch on the events because that's important. You
Yeah,
actually have one coming up, right?
I do. So, and then another thing that I do is with Poughkeepsie High School,
Mhm.
I'm a part of their Career Action Center. So any student, it's a group of students that are in an after-school program. It's the Career Action Center, and what they do is they match students with jobs, like a job shadowing. So any of the ultrasound potential students, they come to me and I give them a free 25-hour volunteer. And what they do is they just sit in the room with us and they just see the day to day, because you're not going to be able to know, like, do I really want to be in a room with a half naked person with the lights off? No. So instead of you paying all that money and figuring it out, then you can
Halfway
figure it out.
through.
So that is also another service that I provide. But yes, so the Mama Mingle this year, we are having our sixth Mama Mingle. So the Mama Mingle is a pregnancy, baby, postpartum, and family expo that I hold right here in Poughkeepsie at Gold's Gym, indoor on the turf. So it's rain, shine, sleet, tornado, tsunami,
I
nothing
hope
is
we don't
getting.
have any of those in May, but I get you.
Hope not. Um, it's
So when
not
is
going to
it
be
first?
canceled.
When is it?
It's May 3rd,
Okay. So
Saturday, May 3rd, 10 to 4.
10 to 4. All right. So, and you're completely booked on the vendors, or are you still looking for vendors?
So I can have maybe like two more. So I'm so thrilled because all of my vendors that come back, they come back every year. So I have 60. I have 60 confirmed vendors. Um, it's I'm flattered and honored that people that other small businesses want to be a part of the Mama Mingle. I mean, it's just a great fun event and people bring good energy and it's just, it's definitely an event that whether you're pregnant, want to be pregnant, in your postpartum, have small children, or a local business owner, it's a great event to not only network, but we're going to also do something really fun this year. It's called
Am I getting an exclusive? Is that what you're saying right now?
I know. So, and then I'm going to touch on dads for a second, but moms, especially now, need to have more of a support system, not from their family, because mother-in-laws and all these people come into play and say you're doing this and but and Facebook groups are great, but there's also a lot of negative Nellies. And that's kind of a vibe that I steer clear of. No negative energy over here. And this year at the Mama Mingle, what we're going to do is I really want moms and families to find other moms and dads and families with children that are around the same age that they could hang out with. Because listen, my kids are 19 and 20. I have my own, I don't even need any friends. I don't even want any friends. Okay. It's just me and my husband right now, my new dog. Okay. But young families really need to hook up with other families who have small children so that can hang out. Because I'm sure right now you have friends that have no kids. Maybe, maybe not.
I have.
Okay.
Now they have kids though, so I can't really say that anymore.
Okay. But I'm sure there are people like if you're a dad and if you're married and you have a newborn baby or a kid that's under 5, you're not going out with your single friends on Friday and Saturday night and doing the things that you used to do. First of
People do
all,
that still.
yeah, they actually do. But you know what I'm saying? Like you have to find your village. So this year I want to do kind of like a game and I really hope attendees participate, but they will because you're going to get free stickers and who doesn't like something that's free? And we're really going to try to, create little groups. I already know what I'm doing, but like for example, with my megaphone, I am going to be saying, okay, we're going to start the game. If you're a mom that's pregnant right now or has a son or pregnant with a boy, stand in the middle. And then I'm going to have all my volunteers come out and give everybody a sticker that say it's a boy. So we're going to be doing kind of things like that for about like 10, 15 minutes, just to bond people together.
Mm.
We're going to make relationships, hopefully, with a stranger that you might have standing online to get in, and now you're out and you already exchanged numbers and you guys are setting up a play date.
Yeah.
Or, oh my God, our due date's the same day. Holy moly. You live 3 houses away from me? Oh my God. I mean, that's how crazy things happen.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's important because, just like you said, socialization is important for kids,
Oh my God.
but also for the parents, right? Because raising a child nowadays in the 21st century, you got a job. Usually both the people are working. You have daycare, you have all this stuff. So even the parents have to socialize every once in a while, or else you're going to go crazy. So you need adult like interaction so that you can say, hey, I don't want you to spit on me anymore. You don't have to say that anymore.
Yeah.
You could be like, listen, you got to see what this kid did today, that type of stuff. Because talking about the joys of parenthood takes all the negative away from it, especially the less sleeping, the long nights, when they get sick, if they have their vaccination shots, stuff like that. So I could definitely see that's going to be awesome. Before we kind of continue, I want to make sure. Did we go over the cost of the event at all? Like people coming in?
So tickets are on sale right now. Tickets right now are 50% off. So they are $12.50 right now. Um, April 1st, I think they're going to go up to 15.
Okay.
And then at the door, they're going to be 20.
And
So,
it's important. So the
yeah,
earlier you book,
yeah.
the earlier you book, you save, right? But you also help the event planner, right? If they know what, size of audience they're getting, the most important part is they know how to make sure that you have enough gifts, you make sure that you have enough food services, you make sure that you have enough facilities. So it's things that help you as a business owner that's doing the event to make sure that they understand, hey, we have 500 people coming to this event. Let's make sure that we can accommodate 500 people. I'm sure that that facility could hold even more than that, but
Well,
just
the facility can,
yeah,
but my food trucks can't. So
yeah,
last year, okay.
yeah.
So this is the thing. I don't know why people wait until the last 2 weeks and like the last week to buy tickets.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, I gave a whole weekend of free tickets away.
Yeah,
I mean, they're all gone, but I mean, like, if you know you're coming, just get the ticket.
yeah,
Why do you want to wait until the day of and pay at the door when it's going to be more? It's going to be the most.
yeah. And
Yeah.
I mean, it not only does it take away from you, but then it also takes away from the vendors, right? Because those are some things that you could be buying.
Yeah.
Baby's first toy. You could be buying like a photo service at, like after the baby's born, and want to doll them up. And I seen like the one where somebody had them on like they lay them down and they have like a hammock that
Oh,
they lay
yeah.
them in, and it's like
Yeah, the
that.
beauty
It's like
of
so cute.
photography. I'm
Yeah.
having two photographers there at the Mama Mingle this year. But back to the buy your tickets like early and help the vendors. We had 3 food trucks sell out.
Yeah. I mean, I was able to get food the last time I was there. I participated.
Absolutely. I mean, I made sure, like, I'm not gonna lie, I love all the food trucks that come. But I wanted to make sure that I had my rice and beans from Cafe Con Leche. So as soon as he pulled up at like 10, I'm like, give me it now, because I knew there was gonna be nothing.
Shout out to Phil and Mel. Just saying.
Yes.
So let's continue on with the event, right? So we have it on again, the date was May
Third.
3rd,
Yep. 4.
10 to 4. And right now, which today is 3/22, and this episode is going to be airing this Wednesday, which is not usual. It's just bringing back this podcast. So I can't bring up my calendar right now. But I think it's the 25th, maybe 26th of. Hold on, let me just double check real quick. Just make sure I don't give them the wrong date.
26 is the Wednesday.
26th is the Wednesday. So it'll be airing March 26th. So as of March 26th, prices are right now still 50% off until April, right?
Yes,
Okay.
I believe so.
Now I'll have you send me the link. I'll put the link
Yeah.
inside the post. So we'll have this posted on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. So the link will be there if you guys want to buy tickets. Is there a Facebook page or excuse me, not Facebook page, but Facebook event that they could also say that they're going once they buy their tickets?
Yeah, so it's right on the Dutchess 3D Imaging Facebook page. The event is right there. And I'm actually going to boost the event probably this week. So people probably will see it more in their feed, but it's definitely on the Dutchess 3D Imaging website, and it's literally going to be all.
And Facebook page. Just I confirmed that just now.
Oh, and Facebook page. Yes. Yes. Yes.
So and so what other things are we going to see at this event, just so people can kind of understand?
So, my boy is coming back. Well, I don't know if he's coming, but DJ Echo is coming with the Selfie 360. I love it. Everybody loves it. It's so fun.
Shout out to Echo.
Yes, I love it. That was so great. The video that comes after you do it is so cute. We're having our bounce houses again. We're having Forever Friends. Brianna, I love her. That's where I got my golden doodle from. She's coming with some pups. So if you are like,
You have a baby and you have a puppy and they grow up together, best friends forever.
best friends forever. But also, if and honestly, I've had like 4 men reach out to me and they were like, "Can men come to the Mama Mingle?" And yes, yes, there's we don't talk about it enough, but there are single fathers out here who are raising newborns and small children on their own. It is not uncommon. And they also need support and they also need a village. And that's something I'm gonna do something else with that. But men are invited. Yes, men are invited to the Mama Mingle. We we need you. We need you there. And it's a good time. It's totally a good time. Also, we have a candle girl coming, which I really love her. I love her so much. Um, we have food trucks are Cafe Con Leche from the ground up food truck, Pizza Joe on the go, Sips on the Hudson, Dee's Cakery. I love her Biscoff little cheesecakes. Oh my God, I love them. Uh, whom else am I missing? Chef Steph. Um,
A lot of familiar names of the Hudson Valley. I like it.
yeah,
I like it.
love it. And you know what? And a lot of them are OGs, and I love it. I love just I really do. It really humbles me when I have returning vendors that want to come back, and I have a fly in here. It's driving me crazy.
It's all good.
I love it.
And so, being somebody that does events, it's something that I truly admire a lot of the business owners that have been able to do it multiple times throughout like not throughout, years, right?
Mhm.
And be able to hold that still, and keep it consistent, right? You hold a very good organized show. There's a lot of giveaways. There's a lot of
Yeah.
things that people could win. I know that you also do raffles, if I'm not mistaken, as well.
Yep.
So there's a lot of things for a first time parent, for somebody that's already have kids. There's a lot of fun things. I brought my grandsons and my children were there. Yes, I'm a grandparent. And they were like playing in the bouncy houses. They were having a ball. At the
Yeah.
end of the day, they were unconscious. They were so tired from all the fun that they passed out.
Good.
So definitely want to make sure that you guys stop by if you haven't tried to go to the Mama Mingle before. Just supporting not only a local business owner, but you're also supporting a community of businesses that support this specific genre of event, right? So that's definitely something that I want people to make sure that they do. So kind of like coming to a close on this, but I want to make sure, is there any other information for the Mama Mingle that you want people to know? Do you have anything like, is there something that you want to keep exclusive to you that, hey, if you come, you might see a surprise, or is there anything that people would want to know about the event?
Well, a lot of people are going to be due, right? A lot of people, they're going to be having their baby, their due date, and a lot of people are like, oh, I want to come, I want to buy tickets, but I might not be able to because I might have my baby. One of the moms that won the Jeep stroller last year, she was there on her due date. She was there on her due date, walking around with her friend. I think her best friend came. She won the Jeep stroller, and the next day she had her baby. So whether you're due, whether you just had your baby, and this is the thing I like about it. The reason why I like it at Gold's Gym, yes, it's indoor, but if you've never been at Gold Gym on the turf, we keep that door, that garage door, huge thing open, and that's where all the food trucks are on the out. So the air is circulating. It's not like I've been to a pregnancy event in Manhattan, and I felt like
Stifled.
holy moly. People were on top of each other. It was horrible. It was a great event, I'm not gonna lie, but it was just so many people. And the reason why I love it at Gold's Gym on the turf with that air circulating is because you can have your kids run. You can you can go like this, and there's no one that's going to be on top of you. And the vendors, they want to talk to you, and it's an environment where no question is a dumb question. This morning I was on the phone with a mom. She was doing a placenta encapsulation with me, and she said to me, I was like, your name doesn't seem familiar to me. Like, have you had a service with me? And she's like, no. She's like, but I met you at the Mama Mingle. So that it's perfect. You don't know when you're going to need these services until
You need them.
you need them.
Yeah.
And getting information, it's the best thing. It's literally so many, it's a curated event. So it's basically what your family is going to need or might need, or somebody you can tell about the service, about family and community and pregnancy and all the things all under one roof right in our community.
Yeah, I mean it's some fun. I like I said, I stopped by last year. I was a part of the Echo crew, helping with that 360. But I also helped with mics, and I was running around trying to make sure that everybody had mics.
Yeah.
So you might see me there again. It all depends on Echo. He has a very large support team, so and you know, he'll let me know. But you know, as this interview comes to a close, I really want to tell you thank you very much for allowing me to interview. Right, it's important to see that you know business owners could take a little bit of time to kind of really give their story. It's something that people don't necessarily hear all the time, and it's important because even though she's a CEO, a president, an owner, right? Um, she's still personable, right? She's not offset from so many people that you're like, I can never meet that person. So that's the best part about it. You know, she's at her facility. She's helping the families. You know, Daina's the one that's actually talking to people. So it's important for people to understand that small business owners are the heart, the bread, the butter of the Hudson Valley, and the things that you do is amazing. So I just wanted to, you know, give you a good shout out in that, you know, we've interacted for so many years. It's important for people to understand the personality that you bring, the love and the caring. It's important. So before we kind of like close everything, I always give my business owners like a short little message that you would want to leave to the kids, the adults, the people that are seeking out education to kind of eventually become or want to become somebody like you. What is some type of tip or advice that you would want to give somebody?
You know, that's a really good question because I talk to many people in different age brackets, right? And at 18, do we really know what we want to do for the rest of our life? No. You know, 40, you know, we're a lot of us are having a midlife crisis. And we don't even want to know if we stay in our job. Do we go back to school? What do we do? You know, I'm thinking about opening up a whole nother different business. And the one thing that I've seen, I've learned, I've heard, I've done is you literally can do anything you want in this world. It's really a matter of believing in yourself, focusing, grinding, and locking in because anything is achievable. That is 1,000% truth. You have to do it on your own. And sometimes, as hard as the journey may be, the ups and the downs, and, you know, eating ramen, even though it's going to kill us, but that's all you can afford for a month, you know, that is the grit and the grind and the hustle that keeps you able to have your business go through COVID and come out better, stronger, and more recharged afterwards. It's all about the journey, but you have to take the risk, have the balls, and literally just do it.
Yeah, awesome. So, you know, Daina, thank you very much for allowing me to interview you. It's been a pleasure as always. Um, make sure that you guys, if you haven't looked up Dutchess 3D imaging, take a look. They're right there in the Hudson Valley. It's right off that Spackenkill Road, right off of there, right next to IBM.
Yep, literally.
It's a simple like if you're going to Texas Roadhouse, you can stop there too. It's like
Totally.
one right before the other, or vice versa. I mean, maybe you want to do the Texas Roadhouse after. Or even Gothic con leche, you know, especially because you know they are probably the only game in town when it comes to Puerto Rican food. I know that others are springing up, but they're the ones that first started it off. So, Daina, thank you very much. I just wanted to kind of close everything out. So make sure that you check her out on Dutchess 3D Imaging's Facebook page. Instagram is the same moniker.
Yeah.
Okay. And then she also has a website, Mama Mingle. She also has a website for that, or is it a part of your website?
It's a part of my website under
Okay.
events.
There's a Facebook event, Mama Mingle. You look that up. just say that you're going, buy your tickets, make sure you do that both. In conjunction, you don't say I'm going and then forget your tickets. Because, you know, like she said, the earlier bird catches the worm and you're going to pay cheaper prices for the tickets. But this is Mr. 845's interviews, talking business with all the business owners of the Hudson Valley every Wednesday at 12 noon. If you guys haven't seen these, we have them on Facebook, on Instagram with the short clips. If you don't mind watching them, it helps me as the creator, but also it helps the business owner at least see some traction there. Like I said, a lot of the contact information is in the beginning. And then also we'll have a link for YouTube as well. We're trying to build all three so that way we can give a bigger audience for our small businesses of the Hudson Valley and really give them a chance to really spread their wings out, if you will, without having to spend a whole humongous marketing campaign just to get you to see that they're awesome business owners out there. So that being said, everybody, I am Mr. 845 and we're hitting the streets. We're going to be talking out with more business owners as we come along. Check us out.